we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at 7:40. Of course, I've got too many windows up. Where did my agenda go? There it is. Okay, so we've got Kathy, Jenny, and Janie.
Can I ask you one question, Katie, before
Sure.
I forget? I have everything but one word done on the minutes from last week.
Mm-hmm.
You said Anna F. and Abby, somebody? Who's Abby?
Oh, Abby Eklund. She is one of our library assistants.
ECKLUND?
ECKLUND. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, great. I wanted to get that in the minutes because I thought that was neat, that they're both starting classes. Okay, that's all.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in for the minutes from the August 30th HR committee meeting. Does anyone have any corrections or changes that they would like to make to those minutes?
But they look good to me.
Yeah.
Okay, then I would be look for a motion to approve.
I so move.
All right, Kathy moved. Who's going to second?
I'm sorry.
I will second. Okay.
All right.
I so
All right. So all in favor?
Aye.
I have to tell you, I've got 3 dogs right here, so I'm doing my best to.
Did you grow another one somehow?
It's a long story, Janie.
I was going to say, don't be surprised if one of the cats makes an appearance at some point this evening. So
all this noise, yeah. So I'm going to mute back and forth, but
okay. Okay, so I think that was a vote of approval from everyone.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and minutes from the August 30th meeting have been approved. Now, before we jump into the main discussion, I think I may have I can't remember if I sent this email to everyone or if it just went to Jenny, but before we jump into, or before we start the discussion about the director search and the interview process and possibly interview questions, anything along those lines, I wanted to ask how we wanted to handle that, since I am one of the candidates for the position. I'm like, I don't know if conflict of interest is exactly the right word, but it feels a little odd to be part of a discussion that could potentially give me a leg up on everyone else. That being said, I know the meeting is being recorded, and I don't believe that that particular discussion falls under the Open Meetings Act guidelines to where we could go into a closed session. The discussion of the particular.
Don't think we could go into a closed session discussing that?
For the particular candidates, we could.
Okay, all right, but
a general. Yeah,
I disagree, Katie, because I've been thinking about this for exactly the reasons you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it would be appropriate because one of the candidates, first of all, because one of the candidates would be present, and also one of the candidates is an employee. So I think it actually is a perfectly valid reason to use an executive session for this, which would allow you to stand back and us to just. It still would be specific, primarily about the process, but since the process directly affects you as an employee, I think that it's perfectly appropriate for us to go into executive session.
Okay.
Unless Janie or Jenny feels.
No, I agree. And I think this is not the first time that came up. I can't remember, some email somewhere mentioned that. And I felt that, just to make things not uncomfortable for you, Katie.
Right.
Well, yeah, and I want to make sure that I'm, as operating as above board as I possibly can with all aspects of this, so.
Right, and then this is an absolutely 99% impossible scenario, but if another candidate was aware of this process, he or she could object to the fact that you were part of the conversation,
Mhm,
preparing for the interview process.
yeah,
So to be at a perfectly fair level playing board for everyone, I think it's best to have you step aside tonight.
okay, then let's, is there anything to discuss that, either related to this or any other, HR committee meeting, related notes that we would wanted to discuss now before moving into, before you move into a closed session?
The only thing I have is, Janie, can you let Katie know when it's good time for a foundation meeting is? I think we're
I was
pushing.
gonna
to-
say-
Oh, I'm sorry, say again, Kathy.
We need to get set up in a foundation meeting whenever it's possible to do so. And I think
Oh,
at this point, we're
yes.
pushed into next week.
Yes,
Yeah, Janie, I'll,
yeah.
I can
Sorry,
email,
yeah.
no, I can email you separately. I know your schedule and everything got
well,
thrown off
I've just
kilter.
been kind of twinked out lately and I'm
Understandable.
getting better. So let's see, I'm trying to get back now. What did I
You
just
did
do?
respond to the
You don't have
doodle
to do it
poll.
now.
Yeah. I'll send you an email, Janie, and we can,
Okay.
you and Kathy and I can figure out a time for the foundation meeting. That works for
Good,
everyone
thank
to
you.
get this done as soon as we can.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to try and sign back on again here because somehow I lost us.
I think, Katie, as long as I think I told you anytime, but the 14th is fine with me.
Yes, oh God, I've had so many doodle polls going. I'm trying to remember.
There we go.
That does sound like it's ringing a bell. So, so yeah, I will, we'll double check on that and see if we can get something scheduled as soon as possible. Okay. So, okay, so without hearing anything else that would require discussion before moving to a closed session. So what I'll do is I will, let me see, I am going to, Janie, I am making you the host just because you were first on the list over here.
Okay, all right.
So I think what Eric has done in the past is that that we would end this recording, and then I would leave the session, and that would not close it out for everyone else because Janie is now listed as the host.
Okay.
Do you want me to stay available well, obviously I'm available, I'm at home, but do you want me to be at the ready to jump back in if necessary, or?
Well, I don't know if you really need to because this is all that we have on the agenda, am I correct?
Yes.
To discuss this, and so the only reason you would come on is to help us
Okay.
adjourn, and so I don't think there's any reason. for you to
Yeah, I
do
was
that.
gonna
We
say,
can
I
do
don't,
that.
I trust that everyone present is able to adjourn the meeting properly, so. Okay, then I'll go ahead and sign out. And yeah, and I guess if there's something that you need me to follow up on or anything, shoot me an email. I mean, I'm gonna be in tomorrow and Friday.
Okay,
Okay, so I guess I'll
and
go
the
ahead.
recording's stopping now too, right?
Yes, I will stop the recording before I leave the session.
Okay.
So, okay.
All
Well,
right. Thank you,
fan-
Katie, for
no
getting us
problem.
going.
Thank you, Katie.
No problem. I'll see you guys later.